Hi, it's the Sports Betting Whale here on Thursday, January 25th, 2018. I'm one of the biggest and most profitable sports bettors in history, having won tens of millions of dollars from betting on sports over the last 30 years. Today, I'm going to teach you all of the factors to consider when handicapping basketball games so you can start picking out winners for yourself. I'm also going to share with you some of my picks today for free at the end of the video. But first, here's a recap of my results yesterday. I won one of my maximum acceleration round robins in college basketball. At 4 units per parlay, this one winning roundy alone brought back 96 units of profits. So even after my other 3 round robins did not come through, including 2 overs, this one winning round robin alone was enough to bring us up 48 units in profits for the day. Plus, I encourage you to take notice of how this winning round robin combination not only covered, but covered easily by double digits on every single game. The over on Louisville covered by 14.5 points. Cincinnati won by 33, covered by 25. Irvine won by 39, covered by 29. And the over on Colorado State covered by 34 points. In fact, it was over with more than 8.5 minutes to go in the game. Unsweatable. In total, my winning round robin covered by a combined 102.5 points. That's over 25 points per game on average. Once the patterns aligns for one game, you can see how they tend to align for all the games in the group too, making this round robin system such a beautiful way to exponentially scale your profits. It's really important to understand too my system. I could be dead wrong on 2 or 3 different pattern combination groups, and I can be dead wrong on my best bet like I was yesterday. I thought San Antonio would rest some starters and not come with a lot of energy after a big blowout win the night before with Cleveland. That's been a real strong trend to go against the Spurs on a back-to-back because the coach Popovich tends to try to rest his players. He doesn't want to overexhaust them during the regular season. Memphis was off a loss against San Antonio at home last time they played. Memphis is playing better. It's set up well for a Memphis win, but it didn't come in. We also lost a close total game on Phoenix and the Pacers by a couple of points that was a straight bet as well. So I ended up not doing well on a couple of things that I thought would win, and ended up taking a round robin with the late round robin that came in extremely easily. So I'm up for the day. Everyone's up for the day. The way I do the VIP program, letting you have all sports, straight bets, best bets, and round robins. If the best bets and straight bets win and the round robins tank, you still win. If the best bets lose and one of the round robins hit, you win. If 2 of the round robins hit, you really jump up. So it's a great approach that I use. I've been using it for over 30 years very effectively. Now I want to give you a detailed look at what kind of factors to consider when handicapping basketball games. Yesterday I recorded for you a video where I taught you what to consider when handicapping games in general. Today I'm going to be a little more specific. I'm going to zero in one particular NBA game that happened yesterday, and I'll reveal to you just how much thought and analysis that goes into consideration when handicapping any one particular game. What you're about to see next is my full thought process when I handicapped the under on Phoenix and Indiana yesterday, so you can understand what are all the important factors to consider when handicapping basketball games. All right, this first part here can always be the road team first. You get your general stats up here. The road team's first here. This gives you some interesting correlation information, like how they're doing road and home, how they're doing as an underdog. Whatever the situation is, if they were a favorite, it would tell you how they do as a favorite. Then it shows how they do against non-conference, how they do against, after this particular case, it's 3 consecutive road games. And then it will show the current year, last 3 years, and all the way back since the 90s. Column I don't care about all the way back to the 90s because obviously those different teams, different players. So if anything is really important, like here, revenging a home loss, right? Well, they don't come back on revenge. They're 6-10, 27-35. They're a bad play to revenge a home loss. So they're not. That's not a positive factor for them at all. Then here you're just looking to see if there's anything that's unusual in the categories here that would stand out for you to know. Then here's where the rubber meets the road, right? These sections here, the current season performance, gives you the all games, road games, and then the last 5. Now, if you look at what Phoenix has been doing, they're trending down on their scoring, and it shows up in the over-under the last 5. They've gone 1 over to 4 unders. They used to be a huge over team. Now, Indiana, I've been noticing they're dragging these, no matter who they play, they drag them down, right? Last 5 games, they're 0 overs and 5 unders, 99-95. So the total amounts on average is 194 points that Indiana's scoring. So then you look at, this gives you all of the recent games. Gives you the over-under trends, gives you the against the spread trends, and then the straight up. So you can see some real patterns form in these statistics here. Look at this pattern. Since Indiana started deciding that they wanted to play defense, they went from a choppy over under, boom, all unders. And then look at it and say, okay, were they close? This one here was, is that 200? Landed 180. This one here, 214, landed 185. 214 again, landed 186. This one went under quite a bit as well. And then this one went way under, 221, and landed a 192. So you have an amazing, huge double-digit trend to the under. So now you read about it. You go in and read why. What's happened? Why have they gone from a pretty substantial over team to one of the sickest under teams you've ever seen in a while here? And again, it's their emphasis on defense. They're not shooting fast. They're playing a much more methodical game the last 7 to 10 days. So what happens when you have a team that's an over team versus an under team? It's still going to go under. Why? Because the under team controls the pace. They're the ones that decide how fast they're going to dribble the ball down the court and whether they're going to race back and play defense or not. So the fast team shoots quick, and lots of times you get long rebounds. The normal flow would be long rebound, race down, try to get a quick shot. Indiana's not doing that right now. They'll take the rebound and slow it down and dribble. So when you see that, you know it's impossible to get it over if a team's not going to run. And all it takes is one of the teams not to run to force the underpace. That's why it doesn't matter who they played. It went way under because of the way they're playing right now. Now, I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Watch the shooting pace, how quick both teams are shooting. I always watch that. And if it switches, then I won't take the under anymore. But as long as they're playing this style, it's going to be, you can see 12, 13 straight unders. You understand statistics, you understand numbers, you understand emotions, and you can see. So one of the things is general rules. You don't have to apply general one-size-fits-all rules to the teams, because you can actually see how do they play on a back-to-back. How do they play if they just got beat? How do they play in a revenge situation? That specific team, how do they play? Not overall, this normally happens, so I'm going to push every single team that in that situation into that funnel. No, I look at it specifically to see how that team does. You'll see, and then every team goes on streaks. They all go on hot streaks and they all go on cold streaks. And they'll say it. After the games, they all get interviewed. The coaches get interviewed, the players get interviewed. And they'll talk about how they're feeling. We're on a run, we're feeling great. And this is, we're hitting on all cylinders. Other times it would be like Cleveland Cavaliers right now. They're infighting. Yesterday I was going to take the Spurs, but I didn't because Cleveland called the player called team meeting. I wanted to see if they reacted any different. I said they're going to come out probably ahead initially, but then they're probably going to fade. But um, generally, a player called meeting will create some extra energy for the game. So instead of taking the Spurs, I just passed. You can now go against Cleveland until they prove otherwise, because they still get huge line respect. They're basically pick 'em against the Spurs at San Antonio. So and then right now too, I talked about earlier, you got the Houston Rockets finally have all of their starters back. Not only do they have their starters back, but they hadn't been playing, which means they're rested. So it's like they're coming in fresh where the other teams are worn out. Oh, it's going to be a huge huge advantage to Houston for a while now that their players are together and rested. Oh yeah, this is, I mean, 30 something years of wins and losses, and one of the things that happens with me when I win or lose, it's like it's going into my database. And if I lose and I lose bad, like, okay, what in the world happened? What did I what happened that was different than I expected? And that now becomes something I consider going forward. So 30 years of doing that. That's why you don't see me on the wrong side of a blowout very often. If it's a blowout, I'm usually on the winning side. If I lose, the games I pick are generally very competitive. You know, only one in 10 is not. So I'm all the experience of looking at the situations and then knowing whether or not to include them as a straight bet or a best bet too. Is it good enough to qualify as an additional bet outside of the round robin? Round robins are something you can kind of really fly with because it's only one bet really if the whole round robin blows up. And as everyone's seen, I can take 4 round robins in a day, lose 3 of them, hit 1, and we win money. If you're going to spend 3 hours a day, and you'll never be as good as I am at it, you're going to spend 3 hours a day doing it yourself. If you knew everything I knew, you still don't have my 30 years of experience and instincts. And so what's it, $150 a week for 3 hours a day? So if I spend a minimum of 20 hours a week on the handicapping, and you're paying $150, that's less than minimum wage, paid for 30 years of experience and a lot of effort. As you can see, the amount of time that I put into picking out winners for both of us is really grueling. Think about it. Would I be willing to spend this many hours to handicap games if I wasn't sure I was going to win? Would I bet hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars of my own money every month on my picks if I'm not sure I'm going to win? Not a chance. Seriously, you'd have to be completely nutso to spend this much time and bet this much money on picks if you aren't sure you're going to win in the long run. And if I didn't have a track record of winning, I certainly wouldn't continue to do it. There's a lot more ways to make money for myself. And keep this in mind too. It wasn't until recently that I started working giving picks to other people. For the last 30-something years, the picks have been for myself, my friends, and my family with my own money and their own money. There was no client services. There was none of this before. So this is new to me, but I think it'd be really important if I were on listening to this to know that the person who's giving me the picks has been betting them themselves with the only way to make money was to win on the bets and to have the balls and the willingness to put that kind of money in play on a regular basis. And the other thing that I think is really important to understand, I started with under $1,000. All of the winnings, all of the money back and forth, up and down, was all off a base of under $1,000 when I was in my early 20s. So it's quite a run off a small amount. I'm going to go ahead and give you the pick for today, one of the round robins for free. It's the 504 team, Oklahoma City, minus 5.5, starts at 5 o'clock Pacific time. 506 over on the Denver Nuggets, 212.5. Ends at 7:35, the team 1508. the over on Golden State for the first half, not the game, the first half, 118 points. Golden State's been getting off to fast starts. Sometimes they slow down a little bit in the second half. So the safer bet, the better bet, is to take them in the first half right now until that trend changes. To see the rest of my picks, and I have a lot of round robins today, and a couple of really, really good best bets, be sure to sign up for the premium membership at thewhalepicks.com. That's thewhalepicks.com. Thank you.
Yeah.
Going forward, I'll continue to release all of my daily picks to you for free if you text me or subscribe to my mailing list. So make sure to text me or subscribe to my free mailing list so I can continue sending you all of my picks every day. I've made tens of millions of dollars betting on sports over the years, and now I'm finally breaking my secret so that you too can share in my success. All you have to do is either click on the link in the description of this video or send me a text message to my phone number at 702-462-1135. If you're texting me from outside the United States, add the +1, so it's +1 702-462-1135. I will begin texting and emailing you with all of my daily picks whenever they come up. Remember, subscribing to my mailing list is 100% free, no strings attached. And every day that you're not a subscriber to my free mailing list is another day that you may have missed out on one of my devastating winning runs. So be sure to click on the link in the description of this video or send me a text at 702-462-1135, or if you're outside of the United States, +1 702-462-1135 to join my mailing list today, 100% free. And you'll be the first to know when I release my killer picks every single day. Again, 100% free.